Welcome to the Cincinnati Art Museum's CAM Look. Every Tuesday and Thursday, a staff member or volunteer will share an object from the permanent collection and pose questions for discussion. Check back every Tuesday and Thursday for a new work and a new conversation. Hi, I'm Helen, a docent at the museum. Once again, research by Dr. Home Sung, curator of East Asian art, has focused an international spotlight on CAM's Chinese collection. Recently, it was the magic mirror and the hidden image of Amida Buddha. Now, the celebrity artwork is a 1,300-year-old dancing horse. It's an amazing story of how scientists help art historians. Let me introduce you to the dancing horse version 3.0. Well, that's a best guess, as you'll see later. This 26.5-inch tall earthenware sculpture was created in the Tang Dynasty, perhaps in the 8th century, and might have been made for a royal tomb. At that time, there really were dancing horses. They were trained to move in time with the drum beat. They performed for emperors as far back as 202 BC. Dr. Sung said that Emperor Xiongzhang from the 8th century loved horses so much that he had a stable of more than 40,000. For one birthday celebration, he invited a troupe of 400 dancing horses to perform the song of the upturned cup. During the dramatic finale, one horse would bend its knees, clench a cup in its mouth, and offer wine to the ruler to wish him longevity, Sung said. This became a regular ritual. CAM's horse seems to be captured in mid-dance with one hoof held high. Recent research shows it had been repaired a few times over the years. If you've been standing on 3 legs for over 1,000 years, you need a little help too. But there were also some questions about its decorations. In this close-up, we see what dancing horse looked like in 1997 when Carl and Eleanor Strauss donated it to the museum. When preparing the sculpture for display in the new Galloping Through Dynasties exhibit, Dr. Sung was suspicious of that tassel on its forehead. Sung has seen many examples of ancient sculptures paying tribute to the dancing horses, but never any with forehead tassel, she said. Was it added at some later date? The museum turned to a team of experts led by UC College of Arts and Sciences Assistant Professor of Chemistry, Dr. Pietro Strobia, in collaboration with Claudia Conti at Italy's Institute of Heritage Science. To answer some of the fundamental questions about the sculpture, the museum allowed Dr. Strobia and his team to take 11 tiny samples for analysis. We judged the risk was worth the reward to answer the question, said Kelly Rechtenwald, Associate Objects Conservator at CAM. X-rays showed that braces had been added in the legs and ankles. Researchers then deployed a battery of molecular, chemical, and mineralogical tests of the masterpiece. They used cutting-edge techniques such as X-ray powder diffraction, ionic chromatography, and Raman spectrography. The conclusion: the tassel on the horse's forehead was plaster, not earthenware. It had been added at a later date. The museum decided to remove the tassel to return the sculpture to its original form. Researchers also discovered that 2 other tassels were repaired at different times, suggesting the sculpture was the subject of multiple restoration efforts over its many centuries. Here is Dancing Horse version 4.0, free of its plaster additions, groomed and ready for crowds of admiring museum visitors. It's a featured sculpture in the exhibit Galloping Through Dynasties, which opens on Friday, October 7th. Guests will be able to explore 60 horse paintings, sculptures, and other artworks from CAM's collection and from leading museums in the United States and Asia. Head held high, poised to entertain emperors, CAM's dancing horse is ready for its starring role in Gallery 234. With the other carefully selected examples, this exhibition, only at the Cincinnati Art Museum, uses recent research to decode the symbolic language of horses in Chinese art and reveal rich information about China's history and culture. I hope you enjoyed learning how scientists can help art historians restore an artwork to its original glory. What interested you the most about this fascinating detective story? Was it Dr. Strobia's range of scientific tests? Was it the collaboration between scientists in Cincinnati and Italy with art historians at the museum? Or was it that an artist could capture the magnificent form and spirit of a horse that danced for emperors? Visit Galloping Through Dynasties to learn more stories about China's honored horses. Thanks for joining us on CamLook today.